Let's talk to God. One more thing, like, subscribe, and share. Come on, let's talk to God. Woo!
Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Cutler here in the Let's Talk to Cutler broadcast, the Let's Talk to Cutler YouTube channel, the Let's Talk to Cutler virtual book club. This is where we meet every Tuesday for about 1,800 seconds, and I'm absolutely delighted to be with you all this evening and to have you all with me because if the truth be told, I feel like you all are in my space when I see you in the chat. So as you're coming on in the chat, come on in and say hi and what have you. I'm so delighted to see you all, and I'll tell you about this shirt that I have on in just a moment, but there are lots of things going on. I'm just so thrilled that you all are with me. And we're only going to be for 1,800 seconds. I promise you that we're going to just say what we have to say and get on out of the way. But listen, let me just say thank you for those of you who have been with me for quite a while. It's always a delight to see you all spend these 1,800 seconds with me. And just in case somebody's with me for the first time, do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe. And after you subscribe, there's a notification bell. Just click it and let you know whenever I've gone live, whenever I've uploaded new content, and whenever I've just decided to show up. And those of you who are coming on into the chat, come on in and say hi to everybody in the room. And I've often said to some people, if you're coming on in and you bring snacks, make sure that you have enough for everybody. But sit back and relax and let's just have a conversation. If you're wondering, what is this guy been talking about? Why is he even here on this platform? It's because I'm hoping to offer something that's motivational, something that's inspirational, something that challenges us to show up our best selves, even in the worst of situations. I don't know about you all, but I can always use some kind of pep talk, something that helps me to center myself, something that helps me to allow my integrity to shine, something that sharpens my character. So that's what we do for these 1,800 seconds every Tuesday and Thursday. So go and tell somebody to come on, let's talk to Cutler, because this evening we're going to talk about growing pains and how to handle growing pains, and not just physical growing pains. We can talk about those, but that's not what I want to talk about this evening. I want to talk about these emotional, mental, and psychological growing pains that we sometimes endure, that we have to deal with. Excuse me. But before I do that, I'll shout out the LTTC VIPs. Now, those are the people that I see first. I know sometimes people say, oh, Cutler, you didn't call my name, but I can only shout out the names that I see in the chat first. So LTTC VIPs, those are the Let's Talk to Cutler, very important people. Now, the truth of the matter is, don't get upset with me, you all. Everybody is important, but just as a friendly banter, a friendly way of doing what we do, every Tuesday, I like to shout out the first people that I see in the chat. And it looks like this evening here on July the 2nd, they are Jay Song for you, Hattie Boone, and Annie Cutler. So you all, thank you for being in the chat. Tell somebody to come on and let's talk to Cutler. Get your lemonade, your iced tea, and do whatever you need to do, and just come on and let's talk for a while. Now, today is July 2nd, so a good shout out to my godchildren. It's their birthday. I have twin godchildren, and it's their birthday. And you see me with this shirt on because by the time we have another conversation, the country will have celebrated the 4th of July. Well, that's nice. That's wonderful. But more important to me than the 4th of July, as Independence Day, it is my mother's birthday, the 4th of July. My mother was born on the 4th of July. I'm not going to say what year. So people are in the chat talking about, I beat this one and I beat that one into the chat. But the truth of the matter is, I see all of you. Paula D, I do see you too. Thank you, my friend. So I just thought I'd shout you out because somebody's laughing and talking in the chat. But the 4th of July is my mother's birthday. So that's why I just thought I'd put on this little homage to her to celebrate her birthday. So if you get a chance to just shout her out in the chats and make sure that you do that. Interesting and ironically enough, my 4th of July is my mother's birthday. 4th of July was my dad's mom's birthday. The 4th of July is one of my first cousin's birthdays. So 4th of July is a big event for my family, not just because of the national holiday itself, but because of all the close relatives who celebrate that as a birthday. You all, this evening, I want to talk about growing pains. I want to talk about how to handle the growing pains. I want to talk about why we don't grow I want to talk about the obstacles that prevent us from growing. But the reason I want to talk about that, now, remember, I said one of the reasons I like to have this conversation is because these Tuesdays and Thursdays, or Tuesdays, the reason I have these conversations is simply because I like to motivate, I like to inspire, and I like to challenge us. Now, today's conversation may come with a bit of a challenge. I don't know if it will come with much inspiration or motivation. I've been up walking. I walked just before this our conversation. But when I think about growing, it occurs to me that a lot of people have incorrect perceptions or ideas about what growth should be, what growth should feel like. One of the things that I wanted to chit chat with us about this evening is this whole notion of growth. We all like to grow. We all like to develop. We all like to expand. And whether that is spiritually or mentally or financially or educationally or psychologically or however it is done, we all like to grow. We all like to develop. We all like to expand. We all like to reach a dynamic that we have not yet reached. We all like to experience something that we have not experienced. But what we don't like is pain. We don't like discomfort. And one of the things that I was reading or I heard somewhere this week was that growth was never meant to be comfortable. Think about that for just a moment. I don't want it to stunt your growth. I don't want it to give you another perspective about growing. But what I realized, what I thought about when I heard that is it made so much sense. Growth was never meant to be comfortable. And I'll talk about it in just a moment, but think about all the times when you wanted to grow, like I said, either emotionally or spiritually or psychologically or educationally or financially or in terms of a career. Think about every area where you have ever wanted to grow and think about the times when you incurred some sort of hiccup, some sort of challenge, some sort of pothole, some sort of something that detoured you, if you will. Think about that. I remember when I was 13. Yes, I was 13 and I had finished junior high school, and I was on my way from junior high school to high school. Over that summer, I would never forget it. During that summer, by the end of the 8th grade, before the 9th grade academic year could begin, 3 months, I grew 3 inches in 3 months. Unprecedented, unheard of. I grew 3 inches in 3 months. I will never forget. My body was in so much pain. But of course, I was a young boy. I was in the South. I was working, had a summer job working. So part of it just felt like, I thought it was fatigue, but I was in this continuous discomfort and continuous pain. My body was growing at a rate of 1 inch per month. That is a whole lot. So much so that when my friends from the 8th grade saw me at the beginning of the 9th grade year, they said, "What in the world happened to you? You just shot up like a beanstalk. You just really shot up." But what they did not know was that was one of the most uncomfortable summers of my life. It was very painful. It was very uncomfortable. And I always remember that. Not necessarily, well, literally, I remember it, but I also remember it figuratively. And I recall the fact that growth was never meant to be comfortable. Listen, if you are going to grow, expect discomfort. If you are going to exceed and excel and experience success and experience victory, then you must be prepared to expect some kind of discomfort. We all want the growth. We all want the expansion. We all want the wins. We want all of that. We want the victory. We want the success. But if you want all of that, then also I need you to simultaneously expect discomfort. Because think about it, you're growing out of your space, you're growing out of your shell, you're growing out of the box. And as you're growing out of the space and the shell and the box and the shell and the space is all bursting open. So there is some kind of discomfort. Think about a chicken. My great grandfather used to raise chickens, and so I grew up with him. And as I grew up with him, I remember going to pick up the eggs. But I think about the chickens as the eggs were hatching, that space had become too small. So they would peck the way out of the shell. They were and so that was something that was a bit discomforting. It was uncomfortable for them in the shell. So in order for them to grow, in order for them to break out of the shell, there was this degree of discomfort. And I want to chit chat about that. How many of you all can think about growing and you found yourselves uncomfortable or in a space of discomfort? But don't despise that, because the truth of the matter is growth in this kind of development, it is an essential journey in your life. It empowers us to be able to evolve and to reach our full potential. So don't despise it. It is what I call the path to self-improvement. And it does not come without its own set of challenges. So don't despise the challenges. So let's talk about some of these things that really come to hinder our growth, that come to hinder our development, that come to hinder our ability to burst outside of the box. And let's have this conversation, you all. Let's have this conversation about how we can deal with, how we can handle, how we can maneuver, how we can navigate these obstacles and these hurdles. One of the things that really has a way of impeding growth is our fear of failure. It is one of the most common hindrances to growth and personal development. This whole notion, this fear of failure, it can sometimes paralyze you. And so, Cutler, what are you talking about again? I'm talking about how to handle growth and not let these things come to impede and stop you from growing. Deal with the discomfort. Deal with the uncomfortable moments. It comes along hand in hand with growth. Let's learn how to handle it. Don't let this fear paralyze you and stop you from taking risk and trying new things and pursuing what is really your passion and your heartbeat. So what we need to do, we need to change our perspective on what we call failure. Instead of looking at everything as the potential for failure, look at it as an opportunity for learning, an opportunity for growing. Because what happens, we will look at this fear of failure and it will cause us to give up. No, I'm not going to do that. But if you're going to grow, if you're going to expand, if you're going to develop, don't face it. Don't look at it as fear of failure. Look at it as an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to grow. Because if you look at it as a fear of failure, then before you will sabotage yourself before you even get started. I hope I'm helping somebody this evening. And then another thing, another obstacle to growth and development is this whole notion of negative self-talk. Well, you all remember, and I keep saying it, I've got to get back to it, this whole notion of word guard, because we have to be careful about what comes out of our mouth, because the truth of the matter is that the power of life and death lies in the tongue. And it doesn't necessarily mean a physical death or physical life, but it means that this emotional, this psychological life, the ability to kill your dreams. This ability to kill your victories. So don't let negative self-talk find its way in you. Negative self-talk and self-doubt and self-hate and your self-sabotage, all of that kind of stuff, those can be major roadblocks to your growth. I haven't even gotten to the discomfort yet. I'm dealing with the obstacles. Constantly criticizing yourself and harboring negative beliefs about what you cannot do, about what you are incapable of becoming, a lack of confidence, a lack of motivation. So instead of doing that, what should I do, Cutler? Well, one of the things that you need to cultivate, one of the things that you need to stir up, one of the things that you need to work with inside of you is this thing that I call self-compassion and positive affirmations. Cutler, where do I get positive affirmations from? I'm so glad that you asked me. Someone wrote this book. It's called Billboards to Better. 365 daily success sources of motivation and inspiration along the highway of life. Find some positive affirmations that can help counteract these negative thoughts, these things that limit your thoughts and impede your ability to see yourself with compassion and love and kindness and all of that. Get some positive affirmations like, yes, I can. Get some positive affirmations like, I can do all things. Get some positive affirmations about, I believe in myself. Get some positive affirmations that says, there is nothing that's going to happen to me today that is not according to the purpose that I walk in. Get some positive affirmations that says, when the rain comes, I'll dance in the rain because it's created this wonderful stage for me. Just get some positive affirmations. Stop lacking focus. Stop lacking the ability to set goals. Get you some clear goals, some clear directions, and so that way you can say, you know what, this is my personal development plan. Because a lot of times people struggle. They struggle at doing what, Cutler? They struggle at setting objectives. specific objectives, measurable objectives. They fail at doing that. And consequently, here's what happened. They end up lacking what looks like a sense of purpose for them. But instead, if we were to identify goals, this is what I want to do. This is what I hope to obtain. This is what I hope to achieve. Write them down so you can stay focused. Write the vision. Make it plain so that you can stay focused. You can stay on track. And as you're growing, you say, you know what? I may be dealing with some discomfort, but I know where I'm going. I may be dealing with some uneasiness, but I know where I'm headed. I may be dealing with some moments where I am unsure of, but I know that destiny is calling me. Some other obstacles to growth. One of the things, and I hope this is not you all, I hope it does not fall your lot, but procrastination. We put off for tomorrow what we could do today. We put off for next week what we could do this week. We put off for next year what we could do this month. It is a common challenge. It impedes, it hinders, it obstructs our ability to grow. And it makes us seem unproductive. It makes us feel as though we've missed opportunities. So one of the things we need to start doing is to stop procrastinating. Just don't put it off. Just dive. I remember growing up, and I grew up on the water, and we didn't have a swimming pool. Our neighbor did, and the neighbor, they used to invite us all the time, to the point that we felt like it was our swimming pool because their children were grown. So we felt like it was our pool. But then next to the pool, there was the river that flowed right beside the pool. So I grew up on the water, and sometimes when we got ready to when we wanted to go swimming, we would stand on the pier, not a diving board, it was the pier, and I remember I could swim. I could wade out in the water and take off and just start swimming. I could do that. But this whole notion of just jumping and diving, I was never really good at diving. But every now and then I would say to myself, just do it. Just jump in. And sometimes you've just got to do it. You've just got to jump in and go for it. You've got to say to yourself, let me get out of this comfort zone. Let me just get out of this limited, this obstructing comfort zone, and let me just do what I need to do. And for some of us, what does that mean? It means we need to get rid of the negative influences in our life, something that really can obstruct your ability to grow. Something that really can obstruct your ability to grow are the negative influences in our lives. We sometimes we surround ourselves with different individuals, but the people we surround ourselves with can have a great impact on our personal growth and development. We don't like to talk about that because it seems like we are becoming judgmental, but it's not becoming judgmental. The truth of the matter is, I know it, you know it, we know it, everybody knows it, that the people we surround ourselves with can have either a positive or a detrimental impact on our professional development and growth. They can either inhibit or influence it. And negative influences, what do you mean, Cutler? Let's make it plain. People who are not supportive, people who call you into toxic relationships, they can drain your motivation. They can drain your growth. They can hinder your progress. So when we're talking about growing, you all, I'm challenging us because I know I can say this about me. I've recognized some of these within my journey. And sometimes I saw these things along my journey and I didn't do anything about it. The challenge is, you have heard me say this, it's how you respond that matters. Don't say anything about this in the chat. Y'all can talk to each other and keep saying happy birthday to Annie Cutler in the chat. But you all listen. How many of us have known negative influences in our lives and we didn't do or say anything about it? We just let them lie dormant, and sometimes not so dormant. We just let them do whatever they want to do, and sometimes we excused it. But at some point in your growth, you have to say, no longer can I allow this. No longer can I tolerate this. Not on my watch. This cannot happen because I'm in a space where I need to grow. We're talking about going to the space that's called better, and better shows up every day. Every day you wake up, there's an opportunity to experience better. Every day you wake up, there is an opportunity to experience better, and we need to learn how to seize the moment to experience better. One of the ways we can handle this, one of the ways we can invite or welcome it, is by getting rid of some of the negative influences in our lives. What does that look like, Cutler? It looks like sometimes some of us might have to rebuild supportive networks. It looks like sometimes we might have to distance ourselves from these detrimental influences. I'm telling you. Put yourself in a space where you're continuously learning and experiencing new things. Learn how to manage your time. Get rid of unhealthy habits and don't be so resistant to change. I just threw in a whole lot right there when I'm talking about the things that will sometimes obstruct our ability to grow. Get in a space where you embrace continuous learning. Do new things. I challenge people all the time. Learn how to do something new. Don't do the same thing the same way day in and day out, but challenge yourselves to do something new. I used to hear that every time you learn something new, it creates a new wrinkle in your brain. Make new wrinkles in your brain, for goodness sakes. But learn something new. Learn some time management. Get rid of unhealthy habits. There are some things that we know, and I'm not saying that they're poisonous, but they can be unhealthy. They can be detrimental, like procrastination, like poor eating habits or lack of exercise or those sorts of things. But there are things that can hinder our personal development, that can hinder our personal growth. But again, I think I landed on not being resistant to change. Don't be resistant to change. I get it. I said it in the outset of this conversation. Growth was never meant to be comfortable. And I think it's the fear of the discomfort that some of us don't like. And so that makes us having this fear of failure, really, which we should see as an opportunity for growth. And sometimes we are resistant to change. Why? Because change can be uncertain. Change can be uncomfortable, but it is essential for growth. And so we need to learn how to embrace it with this open mind. We need to learn how to embrace it with this willingness to adapt and adjust and overcome, because it leads to a better transformative us. It leads us to this space where we are better for the journey. I don't know about you all, but I want to be better for the journey. I don't know when my journey here is going to come to an end. I hope it's a wonderful, long journey. But make sure that there is development along your journey, that you have transformed along your journey. It's ongoing. Personal growth and personal development, it is ongoing along this thing that we call life. It is filled with challenges. It is filled with obstacles. A man and a woman born here of a woman hath but a few days, and they're full of trouble. I get all of that. But let's learn to embrace the journey. Let's learn to enjoy the journey, and let's not be resistant to change. Let's learn along this journey how to overcome fears, how to overcome negative self-talk, how to overcome limiting our beliefs in ourselves. And let's learn how to cultivate positive beliefs and positive reaffirmations every single day. Let's learn how to embrace change, because these things are critical to unlocking our potential. That's growth. So sometimes we have to get in there, we have to do the work, we have to dig and uproot, and we have to do the work. We have to go through discovery and rediscovery all over again. What does it mean? What does it look like? It means that from time to time, you need to set and reevaluate your goals. Define what you want. Write down what it is you expect. Make sure that the things, your strategies are aligned with what you hope for, what you long for, what you desire. It'll help us to stay focused. So don't be ashamed to do it. Again, you all see me with these post-its all the time. Get a pen and a piece of paper, a notebook or something, and write down your plans. Create a plan. Create your plan and then reverse engineer it if you have to. What do you mean, Cutler? This is what I want. This is where I want to get. This is where I want to go. And then reverse engineering means, now let me work my way back from what I want to where I am. And let me see what I need to do. And in the meantime, along that journey, make sure, Cutler said, make sure that you are open to change. Be mindful of the areas in your life that may need that may need an increase somewhere, that may need a decrease somewhere. Because here we're talking about growing and expanding. Make sure if you're going to grow that you invest in yourself. You see yourself worth the investment. I'm worth investing in. I'm worth investing my time. I'm worth investing my emotions. I'm worth investing my thoughts. I'm worth investing my money. I'm worth investing in. Anything that you see worth investing in, you'll put your money there. You'll put your time there. You'll put your heart there. You'll put in sweat equity, blood, sweat, and tears, and you'll make it happen. Do that for you. You are the engineer of your own self-progress. Can I say that again? You are the engineer, the captain of your own self-progress. You. That's how you handle personal growth. It's about getting the growth mindset that says, no, I'm not going to stay. I'm not going to stay in this place always. So one of the things that we need to say to ourselves, I need to be resilient. It helps me to keep going when the times are hard. And one way of becoming resilient is by hearing me as I remind us that growth was never meant to be comfortable. You're experiencing discomfort for a moment along this journey. That's fine. That's a reminder that you're right on path. Why am I having this conversation? Because we have now made our way over into the second half of the year. The end of June 30th, when midnight came and we found ourselves on July 1st, we're literally in the second half of the year now, you all. And so it means that there were some things that didn't necessarily happen during the first half of the year. That's okay. It's fine. Don't cry over spilled milk. It's water under a bridge. Let's just keep going. Let's keep moving. Let's persevere. Let's march forward. Let's forge ahead. Let's do all of that. Let's be resilient and say, you know what? It didn't happen in the first half. There's always the second half. Let me just keep going. Everybody's growth pattern doesn't look the same. So just keep going. Learn how to manage the stress in your life and keep right on going. Learn how to be resilient and keep on going. Set your goals and keep on going. Develop that growth mindset and keep on going. Learn how to be assertive. Because when you become assertive, that will help you learn how to manage reactions that you get from other people. It will allow you to feel as though you are in control. It will help you to become more confident. I want to say thank you all for inviting me into the space wherever you've allowed me to come this evening. But I'm so serious about making sure that you learn how to embrace growth and understand that growth does not come without discomfort. It happens to the best of us. It happens to all of us. Think every area where you have ever grown, there was some discomfort. It's not going to change. Every area where you have ever grown, you experience some discomfort. It is not going to change. Thank you all. Let's keep doing what we do, you all. Let's keep building community. Let's keep making sure that we experience and stay connected, and make sure that you keep your heads up and your hopes up. Stay safe and stay sane. Whatever you're going to do for this 4th of July, make sure that you're safe. Enjoy it with your family and friends and your loved ones. And again, for me, it is extremely special because it is my mother's birthday. So while the country is celebrating while the rest of the nation is celebrating the country's birthday and Independence Day, my family members and I, we will be saying happy birthday to my mother. Thank you all so much. Please know, honestly, that from my heart to you, as there is and always will be so much love. I thank you all for being a part of my community. I thank you for being a part of my village. And until the next time I see you, good night. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you then. Don't be afraid of growth. Discomfort is a part of the journey.